very, very warm. Good evening. This is Arunava Chaudhuri. You are live on my YouTube channel, Arunfoot. It is Monday, December the 1st, 2025. And it's the day after the India under 17s beat Iran 2-1 to make it to the AFC under 17 Asian Cup 2026 in Saudi Arabia to be played next year in May. And yeah, what it was, I can't sum it up what the feeling was yesterday with all that has been happening, that all that is happening in and around Indian football. Yesterday was simply a day to just enjoy the moment, um, because we don't have too many of them in Indian football. We've got a lot of bad days, bad moments, but yesterday was really, really a joy, and therefore keep it close to our hearts, right? That's very, very important. And at the start of the show, as I always like to do here, another Indian football discussion. And today, with the title Good and Bad of Indian Football. Um, like, share, subscribe. Arun Foot here on YouTube. Visit my other social medias, visit arunfoot.com, and watch my short videos, which I try and do and make every day. Without your support, we are closing in on the 3,500 mark. We're too short of the 3,500 mark. So hopefully we can achieve that. And as a piece of information going ahead, this week I will be doing a live watch along of the two semifinals, East Bengal versus Punjab FC, as well as FC Goa versus Mumbai City FC. So two lives. And yeah, on 5th, I'll try and do a watch along on the World Cup draw. The group stage draw for the FIFA World Cup 2026 will be happening in the US on Friday, and I will follow that as well. I'm not like other people who just jumps into quality conversation, as most of the players here aren't any product of proper player education, but was really result one of the best in Indian football history. Then let's not, as you say, let's not get into the quality, this, that, everything. Again, there are a few standout players in this team. I think we've spoken about Rajroop Sharkar as the goalkeeper, who has been a standout in this team. The other standout, I would say, is Dalal Mohan Gangte, the captain. You know, and so therefore, let's take it. And again, if we talk about our quality or lack of quality, then we have to see the others in this group. This group was not good. Let's be honest about that. This was not a strong group. This was not a strong quality group. We came through, period. And I don't care. And I honestly don't care. Again, we don't need to talk about quality, this and that. I know that people are now gonna start glorifying a lot of things, but I know, we know where our standard lies. But this was, I take the win. I take the win any day of the week. Shivam says, as answer to Renal, we needed this kind of win badly at this point of traumatic dilemma. Yes, exactly. That's the point. Shivam, that's the point. That's the problem. The point here is very, very simple. Again, and I said it in my short video, which I made today. We needed this at the moment, through what we're all going through in Indian football. A little bit of joy, and this joy, I'll take it. Whatever it was it deserved? This, that, everything. A lot of conversations that we can have. Forget it. We won. Period. 3rd December will decide fate of ISL. I don't think so. I don't think that the 3rd of December will decide anything. I think it will be an in meeting. It is not an easy one, because what is the solution going to be? The government going to tell, oh, you do this, you do this, you do this, you do this, and then everything is sorted? Very difficult. Very difficult. XIP, because to me, a lot of questions are unanswered. And as long as those questions are unanswered, I find it very difficult to be able to go in there and say, you know what, this is going to happen, that's going to happen, and this is going to happen this way and that way. Very, very difficult. Finally, won against a quality side like Iran. We should play such teams often. Oritro, yeah, we won against them. And should we play them more often? Yeah, why not? But again, we are talking about quality. And when we talk about quality, then I don't think we should be talking about the Iran under 17s, because I've had a few conversations with Iranian contacts and friends today. Um, a lot of them said, which was a little surprised, said, yeah, we expected this to happen. And I said, they said it wasn't clear if it was India or maybe one of the others, Palestine or Lebanon. But this is surprising to me. I would have thought that Iran would come to India and would rock the group. And from the first match onwards, they were having problems. But now, the one thing I confirm is that Iran doesn't have its glory days much in the tank, as their youth is gradually succumbing to a lack of talent. Sure, that's the whole point. That is, Iranians are mentioning a few things. They have a lack of talent. They're saying that there is corruption in the system. They're saying um, quality of coaching. And I was like, okay, some of the topics that we could speak about when it comes to Indian football. So therefore, this is something which is a problem of the system. And again, let's not even get into the political part and other things. But it seems like Iran could be falling behind in the next 5 to 10 years in regard to other sides across Asia. This year, Asian Cup Iran U17 was last, which is a serious thing in perspective to how they have been in the last decade. Yeah, Shivam, that's a team which I think, was it that in 2023, Brazil and the under 17 World Cup. So therefore, Iran has always had a good team. The question is now, what has happened to them that we are in the situation that we're speaking about, right? And therefore, again, I don't need to bother about that. I look at India. I look at our success. I look at our win. I'm very happy. The Us as Indian football fans can be, should be, will be happy about this win. And to me, and you just take it. But also be humble enough, realistic enough. I know that Bibiano will be. Bibiano has qualified a number of teams to the continental level over the last um, decade, that he knows what kind of competition he's going to face in Asia. And that is not going to be easy. That is something that we all need to remember. And therefore, we will have to see. Um, and therefore, we'll have to, you know, it is a lot of things that need to happen. 3rd December is looking mostly like a meeting that's going to be held under forceful circumstances. The net result is most probably going to be nil. It isn't forceful. Yeah, it could be to some extent seen as forceful. Yes, right. The only problem that I see with this kind of a meeting is what do the stakeholders have their own viewpoints. The ISL clubs are not talking with one voice, right? So that's one thing that I've seen. The I-League clubs are not talking with one voice. If other clubs are coming into discussion, FSDL is their own. Are these commercial entities which are supposedly interested got to come forward and have a conversation about things? Are the broadcasters, the OTT platforms, and then an overall meeting? It sounds too good, too simple that you will find a solution in that 4.5 hour window. It could be found if there is a desire and a will to understand, okay, where do we stand? What is needed? But can you in 4.5 hours solve something which has not been solved in the last year? Right? Or if I take I-League or something, some of these things have not been solved in the last 2, 3, 4 years. Right. So therefore, for me, that is the question that comes up looking at this whole scenario: is can the government help in progressing this thing into a direction which makes sense? Because then meeting on the 3rd and then presenting something on the 4th to the Supreme Court and saying, hey, listen, we sorted this, it would be brilliant. But I don't know. I don't know if people are going to accept they force, let's say, FSDL say, listen, guys, please, why don't you, not force, maybe, request them and say, could you do the, uh, um, could 25-26 league? Because we we don't need a sort of short answer now. We need an answer for the long term. We need an answer for the next few years. That is my concern looking at this moment. That the government is doing this, great. I commend the government for doing this, the sports ministry. But I would also say to the sports ministry as an advice, uh, uh, you know, um, why don't you speak to independent people who know about Indian football? Why don't you speak about people in the global football space? Why don't you even reach out to AFC and FIFA? Right. So yeah, could be done in a different way. Anupam, welcome back. Does this win bring anything to the Indian football in terms of investment by the corporate sector or by the government in general? Could a state sponsor the U17 national team for the upcoming tournament? Anupam, so far I've not seen anything. Let me know if you guys have seen anything of a sort of a someone saying, "Hey, listen, here is a, I don't know, a 1 crore gift to the team, or maybe yeah, as a government we support now Indian football or state government or corporate." I haven't seen anything. Anupam, the situation we were just talking about the situation in the men's game, right? It is so complex. It is so complicated at this moment in time that getting out of this and thinking that this will make any difference is going to be very interesting. And you know, um, and to me, the problem was, the problem is, and the problem stays. Um, you know, if I see how they've planned it, how they've perceived it, I find it very difficult to to see someone coming forward and saying, "Hey, listen, I'm going to support now." You know, because if I'm supporting the under 17 national team, I'm then also supporting the AFF, right? 30 minutes meetings, not all are 30. There's some 45-minute meetings in Anibal. But again, it is to me very difficult if I've got a 45-minute slot for the ISL clubs, a 45-minute slot for I League and lower division clubs, half an hour for FSTL, half an hour for commercial partners, half an hour for broadcasters and OTT platforms, you know, 1.5 hour block for clubs, commercial, broadcast, 1.5 hour slot, and then a joint meeting for 1.5 hours. So I've got my 4.5 hour slot. It makes it, very, very difficult, and um, that's why um, it makes it, so therefore that's something which makes it very difficult and very complex. Good evening, Shastik. Welcome back. I mean, government only have less than 6 hours for one of the biggest sports in the world. Hannibal, it's not a matter of, they could do a 12-hour meeting. I don't think that's the problem. The question is, what's the outcome, right? You could go on and extend each meeting to an hour and a half, and spend a whole day as a, let's say, a workshop day speaking about Indian football, 12 hours. Will you get a different outcome of that? And so that's the difficulty we face ourselves in, and that's where that's where that's where we're stuck, and I don't know if it's going to work or not. But to me, it's a very important thing that if I want to get things to work, if I want to see how we're gonna do something, then yeah, that's going to be very interesting. Um, you know, where we can move, where we can get to get out of this situation. Still can't get over yesterday. Shwastik, be happy, enjoy the moment. We don't have too many of these, so therefore, we all Indian football fans. Uh, uh, um, So therefore, for me, uh, yeah, just enjoy. We don't have too many moments like these, and these boys gave us a moment to enjoy. Let's enjoy, because as an Indian football fan, you have more sad, bad moments than anything else, right? That is something which I find very important that we should not forget. We have so many moments where we could say, you know what, things aren't good. But this is a moment. Yesterday, this 2-1, the way it also happened, right? Iran goes ahead and you think, okay, we're going to most probably lose 2-0, 3-0, right? That was my first thought when they scored. But then, you know, we kept them at 1-0. They can't clear in that 45th minute before the penalty. Um, and we get a goal. And what I said in my short video today is watch that. I liked Dalal Mohan Gangte getting the ball and rushing back to the middle of the park to the kickoff spot and saying, hey guys, let's get on with this. I like that. Right? That boy has attitude, has character. Uh, and to me, and then the goal, as I said, error by the right back. Gunleva doesn't even hit the ball well, takes an awkward bounce because of the ground, and then the goalkeeper's howler, and then take it. I take it. Whatever happened yesterday, take it, be happy, and let's enjoy. Any thoughts on the new meeting schedule? Swastika just said it's good that the government is, as per Supreme Court directive, is doing this meeting. An extended meeting, yeah, could have been longer, some might say, but I take it at this moment in time. If is there going to be an outcome, don't expect too much. Because everyone is going to speak about their grievances. And what I hear from a lot of parties, the one grievance that they all have is, oh, the All India Football Federation, oh, Kalyan Chaubey. And I think that is, the government is aware of that. But the government themselves can't act. That's the problem. If the government acts and say, listen, Kalyan, go out, tada bye bye, third party interference comes in. So the question is, does the government understand? And the government knows that now because there are people who were there 3 years ago. And so let's see. Let's see what happens. Hey Kumar, good to see you back. Any thoughts on Latin Bangla Cup? Swastik none. It's good for Bangladesh. Bangladesh is getting a lot of money, a lot of insights because you know the Hamza Chaudhuri effect, right? So therefore they can do these kind of things. Rather, you feel that the whole I League 2, etc. thing should be managed under one umbrella or different organizations isn't also a bad idea. Listen, Shivam, ideally, I need to define what is professional, semi-pro, and amateur, right? I remember this was said by Mr. Blatter in 2007. It's like, what do you define your system by? Now, I remember that was the year that India uh, 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 got its I League in 2007, and the I League suddenly became professional, and the NFL before that was officially termed semi-pro. So for me, ideally, if I see the structure, maybe I would actually say, listen, get the ISL, I League, I League 2, I League 3 all under one umbrella, or keep I League 3 under maybe the AIFF, but keep I League 2 as well as ISL in one umbrella. Make it pro, yeah. And I League 3 is sort of semi-pro, and then the local leagues are at least officially termed amateur, even though they're not what the money kind of money sometimes clubs pay. So therefore, that gradation within our Indian football system is very, very important. We don't have that. And that is something which I feel needs to happen. That's a complex thing. But again, it's not there at this moment in time. So therefore, I would hope that that can be done. But at the moment, it looks like ISL is one thing. I League 2, I League 3 is something else. So therefore, that's the division that the AFF internally is doing. Are there decent administrators, decent people who knows how to govern, or these are the people India lacks? Hannibal, there are people that are good. To say that we don't have uh, uh, um, good people would be wrong. But again, who's taking a call? Who's deciding? And sometimes people who I would have thought are good turn out to be maybe not good enough, maybe lack of incompetence comes through, or lack of oversight, um, and sometimes even being corrupt. So those things come in the way, right? By the way, World Cup draw on the 5th. Oh, I'm excited. Yeah, Swastik, I am also excited. And as I have said earlier, today I will do a you know, a watch along. I'm just saying, just checking when the draw is. Let me see. Uh, 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 uh. So that will be at 6 p.m. So 10:30 p.m. on Friday. Yeah, 10:30 p.m. on Friday. It will take place at the Kennedy Center in Washington, D.C. 42 nations are confirmed. And yeah, um, 12 o'clock Eastern, 1700 hours GMT, 1800 hours Europe, 10:30 p.m. IST. So Friday, watch along of the FIFA group stage draw for the 2026 World Cup. It was such a good thing to see that probably the youngest one was full of maturity and proper captain's attitude. Shivam, that's why I hope that the boy goes a long way, because that was the most impressive about Gangte. Um, Without him, I don't think we would have beaten Chinese Taipei. Right? Let's be honest. That boy himself scored, especially the second and the third goal were class. And yeah, you need these kind of players. Right? We have had in every department, we've got players, um I said we've spoken about Raju in goal, impressive. Um, Kuru and Punya in defense, heart of defense. We're looking at it. I don't think this Iran U17 was trash. I think they thought by looking our previous shots, oh, we can easily qualify, and they underestimated us. No, undermined us, underestimated, not undermined. I think you mean underestimated. Anyway, no, there is a lack of quality, and I said this earlier. Friends of mine in Iran said that clearly that this team is you know uh, 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 that's the thing. Messi versus Muller again in the MLS Cup final. By the way, yes, Rasik. Thomas Muller with the Vancouver Whitecaps and Lionel Messi with Inter Miami next Saturday, Sunday. So, yeah, let's wait and see what happens. What is Latin Bangla Cup? Hannibal, Bangladesh is hosting a youth tournament with Brazil and Argentina in the coming days in Dhaka. Thoughts on Pogba making his comeback finally? Shasik, a great player, someone who won the World Cup. But if I look at him over the last, I don't know, 6, 7 years, hasn't done his talent justice. So are the good administrators in politics by muscle politicians? Yeah, some are. Certain people are not even allowed close to key positions because people know that if the right people come in, then the things would run differently. Now, do you think the Khalid will go after the new regime of AIFF elected in 2026? Kumar, no idea. Honestly, no idea, because I don't know when the new committee will come in. Will it be in September? Will it be in May? Will it be earlier? Nobody knows. And if you look at the press conference on Saturday with Shabir Ali, that was clearly a sign that this old guard of coaches who have pushed Khalid into this position, that they, besides Kalyan Chaube, are fully backing Khalid. So therefore, if anyone thought after the Bangladesh loss, there's a discussion within the AFF to consider the coach's position, think of that as this dispensation, no. March, we could have a discussion depending on how things go against Hong Kong. But I don't see Khalid being fired. And let's see what happens in the next year, because I can't even tell you what's going to happen this week. Right? Indian football at the moment is in such a flux that I don't know. Everyone thought Shaji was going to become the president and take India to new heights. I mean, well, even Shaji thought that, right? And when Shaji met me a few weeks ago here in Germany, yeah, I said, miscalculation, and maybe also, yeah, you have to have certain things to be in certain positions, right? Dada, Sal Punya was one who made me doubt on our upcoming generation of goalkeepers. Raju restored my belief of good goalkeepers to a little extent. Shivam, Rajroop looked really good. And remember, you and I had that discussion, and you directly said, "Oh, oh, he looks good." From the first time we were doing the watch along against Palestine. Yeah, he's done himself justice. He's done more than justice. He's done very, very well. He yesterday was one of the reasons why we won that game, and that shows you how important a good quality goalkeeper is in this kind of a situation, this kind of a match. You need quality. It is needed. And again, yesterday, as with the women's against Thailand, you need a little bit of luck as well. Let's be honest about it. Sometimes luck is a factor. Let's go. I'm more excited for the draw now. Yeah, Jose, I said, thread out. I'll be doing a live watch along for the draw of the FIFA World Cup groups. It's a good win, but let's be real. In the U17 level, Iran is not that good a team. They got shredded by Tajikistan, Oman, and somehow did not concede 5 goals. It's not going last edition. We need better players. Gaming architect, I totally agree with you. I, I, this is the worst again, and this year I've seen some of the worst in youth football in Asia from what I had to see. Under 23s, Bahrain, really bad. Qatar, not good, right? If I look at under 23 level, and if I look at this group that we were in, it was, I mean, Iran being challenged by India, Lebanon, and Palestine. Just thinking, I think you would have not spoken about this 3 to 5 years ago. Iran would have walked through this group. They would have thrashed all the other teams and would have easily gone through. And this is drop in level. So we've had this. We've had, Australia no longer is as good as they used to be. But I don't. Again, ours is not the best that we've had by far. Not there are teams that have not qualified who are better. But at the moment, given the circumstances, I take this. I take this. I'm happy, and yeah, let's see what we get. Because my thing now is the AIFF has to work on this, but Bibiano needs to be given the chance also to look at the other talent available in India, and maybe there are talents here and there who we could utilize for this team and make this team better, especially strikers. We need a striker, right, who can get us goal at continental level. Tata, Iran does have politicians in the head of their football. It feels right now that administration I had admiration for its strength is gradually increasing to the extent where I can compare to Kalyan Chaube. Shivam, don't do those comparisons of this federation, that federation, because I think you and I, we don't know enough about the Iran Federation or any other federation to be able to compare them to ours. As much as we are interested in Indian football and we know about Indian football, I think we don't know enough about Iran as a country, Iran as a society, Iran as their federation, the IRIFF, and therefore that has to be, we need to keep in mind. So therefore, these are things, and in my opinion, let's stay humble, and try and look at our football rather than the others. Again, I take that Iran had a bad day. Iran doesn't have the talent. Iran has this. Iran was arrogant. I don't care. We won, right? Sometimes we don't need to have the discussion about quality, about basics, about this, about that. Yesterday, it was about mentality. And on the mentality front, India beat Iran. On passion, you saw. I mean, I am still surprised that the way Ahmedabad came out to support this team in all the 4 matches, right? I remember we were talking after the Lebanon loss, and people were saying, "Hey, why are the people clapping for the boys?" That is what it was. That is respect. I have to give that respect to the fans in Ahmedabad, that they were supporting the team, the boys, um, at a time which wasn't easy. So therefore, let's take it. Muscle man politicians aren't bad, but the only thing they do is keep things running as it is. They don't think of future any kind of policy making. Hannibal, the problem is at the moment we are not, again, in Indian football, a lot of people are thinking about now, 25-26 season, right? Uh, you know, because people are not realizing the mid to long term is your question, in my opinion. Can we sort Indian football in a way that we have a top tier league in 5 years, in 10 years, in 15 years? Right? Gante, a future captain, maybe, and a national team material, maybe down the line. So let's see. Shastik, and that is the danger we have, right? He's done very well. He has been a captain more than just he's been more than a captain. He's been great, but give him the time, right? I know that we love to glorify players, and if I go back at the under 17 World Cup, how many of those boys did we glorify, and how many of them actually made it, right? Apuya was not even a starter. Apuya would be most probably with Anwar Ali from that batch be the biggest name. How much did we speak about Dheeraj and all that stuff? Oh, brilliant goalkeeper, world class, this, that, everything, right? Komal Thatal, give him time, let him play football. Gangte has it in him. Let's see. What I've seen is lovely, and but can he make it? I'm not sure. And to take gaming architect's question first before we go on, um, he supposedly is 15. He's the youngest of the lot. Is he 15? Don't ask me that. I don't know. I hope he would be, but he's done brilliantly. Dada, who do you think is going to be the dark horse in 2026 World Cup? For me, it feels it's going to be Norway. I think Norway is the candidate. Norway is because of Holland, Odegaard, and all the others, Nusa and whatever their names are, Sørloth and all those guys. Norway should be, yeah. And the problem is always that the dark horse we talk about, are they normally then the dark horses? Someone else crops up. Might Morocco again have a sensational run? Might one of the hosts maybe have a good run? Mexico, the USA, or Canada? We don't know. Can include Shamil from FC Madras, give Rishikesh Charan from BFC another chance. Thiam Manglenga. Sorry. I start again, gaming architect. Can include Shamil from FC Madras, give Rishikesh Charan from BFC another chance. Thiam Maleng Gamba. What about the Minerva boys who went for Europe tour? About the Minerva boys, I don't know. I think they're a younger age group. So I think they don't fall into this at the moment. And the others, yeah, I think you need to have a group of 35, 40 players and then figure out who is going to be in your final 23 squad, right? So I think there's a lot of work to do. Rajub is not the first good goalkeeper we've had from Bengal, right? No, I think we've had in the last generation Subroto Pal, Shubhashish Roy Chaudhuri, Arindam Bhattacharya, to name a few, and then all those before that. So therefore, Bengal has had a tradition, but we've had over the last decade a massive influx of quality goalkeepers from Punjab, right? Gurpreet Singh Sandhu, Amrinder Singh, Gurmeet Singh. So a lot of these guys have come through the system. Dada, is Target Scouting a good youth scouting article after 2023 AFC Asian Cup? They termed Kuru Singh as one of the guys who had talent to move outside of India. Shivam, you have a potential, but again, the target. See, there are people, there are scouts whose job is to recognize and say, listen, XYZ player has XYZ quality, right? Kuru, to me, at his age, playing regularly ISL, right? To me, that's a big thing for him at his age to play ISL. But did anyone pick up anyone? And so, as I know, and I know from certain clubs and their coaching, their managements or their scouting networks, they say Indian football is not something we look at, right? Because why? An Indian kid to be scouted from an under 17 competition, that kid would have to be um, exceptional, right? And as good Guru is good enough for the top level of Indian football as his age. Is he good enough to go abroad to play there? And the problem is you have to be 18 to be picked up by professional clubs. So you're actually too young. So therefore, a lot of sorry, a lot of clubs put you on a list and track you. And then when they think they can do something with you, they might approach you and try to sign you. Stephen, thanks a lot. Why Indian Football Academy don't invite good coaches from Europe and South America for 15, 20 days to improve our tactics and methods of football is evolving. First of all, Stephen, thanks for the 200 rupees. That's a good question because it's involved with expenses, flights, stay, and 15, 20 days is a nice thing to have, but how can I get it throughout the year, right? So therefore, um, and South Americans very often, language is a barrier. Even in Southern Europe, sometimes it can be a barrier, even though a lot of Spaniards, of course, travel around the world. And let's say, I take always a good example, Javier Cabrera, who's now the coach of Bangladesh, actually originally came to India as a La Liga soccer schools coach, right? So to work on these kind of pay-to-play model projects and teach kids. So the idea is good. Again, who's going to pay for it? That's at the end of the day. I think for a lot of these smaller academies, a problem. I've done that with my friends at the German Football Academy, and we've brought in coaches from Germany, but yeah, that's something which GFA hasn't done in the last year because it's actually too costly. I mean, Shaji's thinking wasn't wrong. He wanted a position from where he could control the AIFF. Hannibal, yes and no. His position is right, but then you need to have the network. You have to have the political clout. You need to have the corporate networks to be able to to make a difference. Right? There are a lot of people who I'd say, they could be president material of the AIFF. But if you don't have the right connections and the right networks, you're going to struggle, right? By the way, why was he kicked out? Who was doing corruption? Hannibal, you know, he blames Kalyan blames him. Nothing has been proven anywhere. That's the other problem. So it's up in the air. Can we expect leak happening in January given the meeting on 3rd? Would that be possible? No. January is not happening. If any and there is to me, it's not like, oh, tomorrow they're gonna sort it and then the league is gonna kick off. There's at least a 45-day window for things to be sorted. The problem is um, the court has to once more call out most probably a tender. And if they do a tender, uh, you know, and then this, yeah. At the moment, in an ideal case scenario, we are most probably 60 to 75 days away from a league happening or whatever is going to happen in the 25-26 season. In your opinion, was changing the coach from Ishfaq to Bibiano the right decision, right? If you look at the result, you'll say yes, right? Ishfaq didn't, Bibiano did qualify. Thiam was Minerva striker in 23, Gothic Capis, Aslan Shah's match. Gaming architect, again, I don't know how Bibiano has picked his squad. So yeah, that's the question, right? How did Bibiano pick his squad? Mark my word, Mexico will surprise in World Cup. Goku, let's wait and see. As I said, Mexico I have a huge advantage at home at the start of the tournament, and if they can use that, they can get to some stage. But again, let's wait what happens on Friday with the groups. That will be the first interesting point to see, and then let's wait where all of it is heading. As I said, Dada, is there any plan for our any team for preparation program for all Asian qualified teams in men and women? RSK, I have not seen anything. Right, that's the only thing. The women's are at the moment in Dubai playing club sides because their European tour fell through because of financial matters. Sorry, because of visa matters. Even though some people have said to me it's a matter of money for the AFF. The under 20s are at home playing Uzbekistan, so that's good. Under 17s, I haven't heard anything. So Joachim Alexanderson is sort of mainly training in Bangalore. And then let's wait and see what happens. And with the boys, it's May. We'll have to wait and see. 15-year-old Gangte versus 15-year-old Changte. Hannibal, we're not talking about similar positions. Changte always has been a winger. Gangte is more of a central player. Um, Changte at 16 was playing pro football, right? Mm, at DSK. At 16, 17, 18, he was in India international. But at 15, I think I would pick Gangte overall because he's playing. Sorry, he's playing more in the middle of the park and has potential. Let's put it this way. He has potential. Jangte has turned, has made more out of his potential, I would say. Even though last night Viking Stavanger won the Norwegian league, yeah, the Eliteserien. And I was thinking last night when I was congratulating some of my friends at Viking Stavanger, like, you know what? 6.5 years ago, we had Changte over there. And who knows, maybe he could have been part of your league winning campaign, right? So, again, to me, Changte, what he's achieved is great. But I always feel that maybe there was a little bit more that Changte could have done if he had gone above, right? So, let's see. Lala, what happened to Rajdeep Paul? That guy scored something like 60, 70 goals in 25 matches. Overage turns out to be help to U70 team. Shivam, you know, how old? Wait, was he of the younger age group? Or wait, Rajdeep Paul at Monbagan was of the younger age group, or was he out of the old age group? One second, let me just check. What age is he mentioned in the database? 2010. Oh, he's too young because the under 17s were 2009 and 2008. So he can be part of that cycle next season. Next season. Koru turns 19 day after tomorrow. Yeah, still very young, right? But again, playing ISL regularly, that's always good. People are hyping these U17 boys too much just due to fluke winning against Iran. Zoravar, let them. I always say let people enjoy themselves. Yeah, we might say it makes no sense, and it's so for me, I take it. But we should be realistic where we stand, right? So therefore, I'm not getting carried away. One second. Seems to be once more a problem, a glitch with the system. Why is it not allowing me? Sorry. I agree. Thanks again, Stephen, for the 100 rupees. I agree bringing good coaches is expensive, but there are video materials and tactical breakdown available. Online coaches study more to deliver. Stephen, 100%. And not only that, I think your idea of bringing coaches, maybe you don't need to bring coaches. You can do online workshops, right? And to me, there's a lot of things that we could do, you know. So for me, that is something that we need to look at how we can bring that into our system. Congrats on 3,500K, sir. Way to go. Let me check. 3.5. Have we cracked the 3.5? Yes, 3,500. Thank you very much, guys. So another small little milestone on this 1st of December. And the aim, as I've told you now multiple times, is try to get to 4,000 before the end of the month. So please help me. I've done an interesting interview. I don't know if you've seen that. Traveler's Guide to Indian Football. I've done an interview with Arjun and Johnson. I will post that day after tomorrow. So do look forward to that. Discussing with a few people to do some interviews. Again, let's see after next Sunday how much of football we have. So therefore, as I also said, most probably gonna do once in a while, maybe Champions League live watch along, maybe even watch alongs of Bundesliga games. So do join me, because at the moment there is no clarity if after the 7th of December there is any Indian football left. Of course, also East Bengal's campaign in the SAF Women's Championship will also be part of the live. So therefore, trying to see as much as I can. Hey Akash, finally BSL is happening. Yes, looks like it. Let's see how it turns out. And people should stop hyping Gangte as some wonder kid. So however, he's not a wonder kid, but he has quality and he has potential, as I say again and again. Let him grow. You know, uh, you know. So let's see what happens. Dada, I'm listening. One of my friends from Odisha that they are trying to convince Ahmed Jahu for. Sorry, Dada, I'm listening. One of my friends from Odisha that they are trying to convince Ahmed Jahu from Odisha is for Odisha FC coach after Lobera resignation from the post. RSK might happen, might not happen, because from what I know at the moment, Odisha FC is on standby. Odisha FC has no plans whatsoever for a football club in the coming weeks and months. And at the moment, let's wait and see, right? How would we develop guide youth players like Gangte to reach his potential? Only see him fading away in future. Hannibal, right moves in regard to transfers, right? He's at Northeast United, so he's at a good club. He's got, he will if he moves through the ranks, he'll have to deal with Naushad Musa. Manda Tamane in the management is there, so there are the right people at Northeast United who will tell him, hopefully, the right things to do and to happen. And the problem is that you know does he stay in? Sorry, again this problem. Does he look at options abroad? What could be the expectation for upcoming sportsmen are back-to-back meetings? Utkarsh, I have none. To be honest, if you ask me, if I want to, sorry, one sec. If you want to move forward, for the government, the most important thing is to have a conversation, figure out what the situation is. And this is an opportunity for everyone to voice their opinions on things, to voice their, you know, um, problems, their issues. And maybe we come to a conclusion and figure out, okay, this is the way we want to go. Right. So therefore, for me, good point. Good to have this meeting. Question is, where do we go from here? And that is, I think, the biggest challenge. And yeah, let's wait and see what happens. Right, more than 48 minutes. Quick reminder, like, share, and subscribe here on my YouTube channel, Arun Foot. As said by the others, we've reached across the 3,500 mark. Thank you very much. 15 likes so far on this video, 3,500 followers, as I said. Thank you. Those of you who might be watching who haven't subscribed to the channel so far, please subscribe to the channel. You can ask your questions, your queries, maybe your viewpoints get listed here, and watch my short videos. Did something today on history made India U17s impressed to qualify for AFC U17 Nation Cup. Yesterday, it's something on Khalid Jamil's press conference, which I found a little bit peculiar and odd. Before that, again, should OCIs consider playing in India? The ISL clock is ticking. Molina out, Lobera in. I try and do videos on a daily basis, so thanks a lot for your support. Right. Rajdeep Paul was under 15. I think he scored against very, very bad teams. He was part of the Bangan team that lost 10-1 to BFC. Gaming Architect, he's too young. So maybe next season he might be considered. Thanks, Stephen. Finally, lads from district, we got a taste of professional football. Growing up, many of my friends stopped playing football because there were no football set up outside of Kolkata, only Cape. Akash, let's wait and see. We've had this discussion the other day. I think you weren't there, where there was, a lot of skepticism about the Bengal Super League. That there is, look at who the owners are, look at who's involved as coaches, how they're going to put this whole thing together. So there's a lot of skepticism. If it's done right, it will help football outside of Kolkata. If it's done wrong, you're going to push CFL level talent into these district teams. So therefore, that's a lot of questions to be asked. Indian coaches are egoistic boomers. They won't make an effort to find and learn through videos, except few. Yeah, maybe harsh, but yeah, maybe a truthful fact. Let's wait and see. I think Chicharito had recent stint at Bayer Leverkusen, scoring goals and showing his quality. What about you? What's your take on his time there, my bro? Has played for big clubs like Man United, Real Madrid, etc. He had some impact, but Goku not that much of an impact in regard to if I look at strikers who've played at Bayer. If I look at in the past, Ulf Kirsten, Dimitar Berbatov. If I look at Patrick Schick at the moment at Bayer, um, yeah, he was there, but again, I think Chicharito was a bigger name than the impact that he had at Bayern 04. We're only 3 wins away from that FIFA dream. Pramod, we don't even need 3 wins, right? We need to get to the knockout stages of the under 16 Asian Cup. So that means we need, and in the best case, we just need to finish second, and that might mean a win and a draw, right? So if we get 2 wins, we're going to get to the World Cup. So yeah, that is. But we need to remember where we're coming from and looking at the 15 other opponents. Look at some of the performances of teams who played in the under 17 World Cup this year. Huh, it's difficult, but there is a potential path. So yeah, who knows? Dada, I saw your old interview with Shan. Even then, he said he wants to play for national team where he can hide a face that he wants to send us in possible F is ignoring. Akash, I know Shan. I tried to help him last year, put his name through to the AIFF. When they were talking about OCIs, this, that, and everything, there was no movement. Shan himself then, via his agent, tried to come to India last winter. His name was put into the market. Mohammedan Sporting showed an interest. And so therefore, for me, he's ready, right? He's accomplished what he needed to accomplish in Canada. He's a top-level player in the Canadian Premier League. We have a striker problem. We need to embrace the player. And it's the Ryan Williams effect. And that's why I did the video, 2 days ago, 2.5 days ago. Do OCIs need to consider playing in I-League or ISL and I-League? Because this whole thing is suddenly opening up something which wasn't there earlier. So therefore, players like Shan, if they want to come to India, we need to be able to find means and ways for him to play. All these players and then will end up in bench of ISL clubs unless we. Sorry. All these players at end will end up in bench of ISL clubs unless you start a U18, U20 league. Yeah. We have a U18 league this year. Sorry, just reconnected to the computer. All these players at end will end up in bench of ISL club unless we start a U18, U20 league. Zoravar, we have a U18 league, which is currently just started in its sort of regional zonal format. Under 20 league or maybe under 21 league. I see, for me, what would have been ideal, and I've been saying this to the AIFF for the last decade, because we've always had sort of 3 age groups, right? It was 13, 15 was fixed, has always been fixed. We've had an under 18 league, then we had an under 17 league, now we have an under 18 league again. At some stage, we even had an under 20 I league in the past. Now we have RFDL. I would have liked to have had an under 13, under 15, under 17, under 19 league, and then RFDL on top of that. That would be, in my opinion, the ideal format in regard to potential progression. Gangte proceed to join East Bengal. Why would he, Hannibal? He's at Northeast United. Bangladesh Federation is trying everything to catch the origin players and we're ignoring us. Yeah, Akash, not in Bangladesh, Sri Lanka. Look at Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka has done so much. If you look at where Sri Lanka started off, you know, and our federation is ignored. Not ignored would be the wrong word. They've tried a little bit here and there, and then when the government says, "Oh no, it's not happening," they just literally step back. That's what the Indian Federation has done over the years, and yeah, it's not easy to try and bring in players of origin into the Indian football ecosystem, but we need to do. Mohamed Suhail signed for Punjab FC for another 4 years. Is it good or can be better? Utkarsh, at the moment, it's good because he stays with the club, which will give him opportunity. Sorry, he will have to progress, and if he does well, someone or the other will sign him, right? And the club will get a transfer fee. For a young footballer, game time is what matters. Exactly, Zorawat. Not only generally for a footballer, game time matters, right? I remember you did an interview with Kabir Nath. What was his skill level in the level of Andorran League? Can he play for national team? Gaming architect, I do not know what the level of the Andorra League is really properly. Um, to be honest, it is, I would think, someone who's played there on a general level. If we are inviting Abni Bharti to potentially try out with the national team, I would suggest also to at least invite Kabir maybe for one camp at least and see how good or how bad he is. Right. I don't know his levels. I was just intrigued by the story, and again, someone reached out to me and we had a conversation. Nice guy, and I think yeah, we need to look at those guys and give them opportunities and see if they can make a difference. He at least is playing at the top level in Andorra, right? So that's it. I have no hope from the government. Government party are elections and power, not the sport. Yeah, Stephen, that's part and parcel. Money is too much to ignore for this U17, 18 lads. They don't want to play for I-League divisions. For game time, they prefer easy money and warming ice and benches. Akash, that's a problem not only in India but around the world, right? A lot of players move to clubs because of money. It's not an Indian specific problem. Again, the lack of consistency, the way you 17 lads played yesterday, because the way they defended was commendable. But another day, you will see them play like novices. And Uchu, that's hi and welcome. That's the whole problem, right? At the end of the day, these guys yesterday played a way of football, a brand of football where you'd say, wow, right? Passion, grit, mentality. And look against Lebanon. Look even against Palestine towards the end. These are the small little differences with a team like this, and therefore, yeah, not easy. It's difficult, and let's wait and see where we end up. Once Harry Kane leaves, who do you think Bayern will target? I think Nick Waldemar, a good option. German boy will develop like Isak at Newcastle. Stephen, there are a lot of players who are being discussed. Vlahovic, the Juventus striker, is being discussed. Fisnik Aslani at Hoffenheim, who's supposedly a target for Bayern and Dortmund, is another one being looked at. So Bayern have a few, but again, it looks like at the moment that Harry Kane will at least stay till 2027, and then he might even extend his contract even further. Goku answers, Akash, they have no other choice. It will be interesting to watch these players will replace starting 11 foreign players. Starting, okay. Yeah, that's the difficult one. I cannot find more Indian origin players in Canadian football. Do you know anyone other than Shan? Akash, there are few, but not in the CPL. There's a league below that. There are a few in that Toronto league, who've actually gone to colleges in the US. Try restart. No, it's not the Wi-Fi, Stephen. I just restarted the program on my device. It seems to have worked. Again, sometimes these are hiccups with connections that they are. If they can qualify for World Cup, I think some of them will be scouted by big European clubs. Pray for them. Akash, I don't think so. Right? This whole. They will be scouted by big European clubs. None of the big European clubs will look at an Indian player. You have to be so exceptional to be scouted by a big European club to be even looking at you. They have a complete database, and I know one club, for example, whose database they're tracking Indian footballers from the age of 16 to 22. and no one is on their radar. So this fake dream, right? It might be some obscure club in Eastern Europe might be looking at it or something, or some Southern European club, but none of the top five leagues clubs will look at our players at the moment. Yeah, wasn't there a new policy made by the cabinet for helping diaspora? I guess I praised the restart too early. Wasn't there a new policy made by the cabinet for helping diaspora athletes who want to give up citizenship for Indian passport? No. Anibal, they wanted to interact with the diaspora. Forget athletes. It means they could interact with athletes, they could interact with coaches, they could interact with people like myself, right? Your take on Wednesday's meetings. Hope AFF is part of it. Yes. Ochut, they're part of it. The AFF is also it has been asked by the government to inform the clubs and entities that this kind of a meeting is happening. Please do attend. And let's see who comes and turns up for that meeting. Dada, Hundal is a quality player. Will he be able to get that much help Ryan had got? Nishant, I can't say if yes or no in regard to the passport. Yes, I understand. It depends on which club he signs for. Because I said JSW was behind the support. JSW, yeah, helped Ryan to get the passport. Without JSW, Ryan Williams would not have gotten an Indian passport. That's the reality of things, and therefore, yeah, that's how it was, and that's how it is. Your take on Wednesday's meetings? They're part of them. Yes, as I said, Uchut, they're part of it, and let's see what happens. The statement by Anurag Thakur on his thinking about diaspora tells about his ability to comprehend things and the reason he's not been given any cabinet position this time. Anibal, I don't know if that's the reason, you know, and so he said something, and again, we've had this conversation. I've had this conversation with him in the past in 2022, and but yeah. Any update about tomorrow's meeting, Dada? There is no meeting tomorrow, Nishant. It's on Tuesday. There's a meeting between the government, the AFF, ISL clubs, I-League clubs, FSDL, potential commercial partners, and TV and broadcast partners. No disrespect, it hurt so much as a Bengali myself after Bangladesh trashed us. I took it personally. Akash, welcome to the club. I was in London. I took time out to do a live watch along that day. And I felt, honestly, and I said this a few times, I think, in the last few days, that I felt after 50, 55 minutes of actually, for the first time, normally, whatever the result, whatever the outcome, I just pull through a live watch along, right? Because sometimes you feel, no, it's not happening. I was about to say, listen, guys, I'm here for work. I've actually taken 3 hours out of my work to come and sit here and do this. Let's leave it. Let me focus on my work and leave earlier and forget this live watch along. But then I said to myself, okay, you know what? If you're doing it, do it properly. And then I pulled through. But and I understand the Bengali in you. These are congratulated. Yeah, I congratulated my Bangladeshi friends and all. It's an embarrassment. The biggest hurdle to everything is not finances, is not infrastructure, rather the AFF, the federation itself. If they have the intent, they can make things possible. If not, then let's just be happy. Simon, yes, but it's again the AFF is one, but it's the stakeholders as a whole. All stakeholders need to come together to try and save Indian football at the end of the day. Shan will be very good for SC Delhi or Punjab FC or Inter Kashi. Akash, I think he would be good for most ISL teams. Right? The other result is a good thing, but expecting lots of changes from Bibiano on this 270 spot till 70 Nation Cup. Nishant, I don't expect too many changes, but I think that Bibiano will look at, look at trying to find. I think they need a striker. Going into the tournament, they will need a striker, and I think that's what Bibiano will look for. Celebrating qualification without doing anything in the actual tournaments. Simon, I think qualification was a big ask looking at the opponent. I mean, at the end of the day, it was Iran. It was not just some obscure nation against whom we qualified. And especially after that Lebanon game, which we deservingly lost, to make it is great. Can expect anything positive with the so-called meeting between the stakeholders and government. Simon spoken it multiple times today. I'm not expecting anything. Right? I think a lot of people will air their grievances, especially about the AIFF and about Kalyan Chowbe. The question is, what solution do I walk out of this? Because I don't see the ISL clubs, the I League clubs giving you a solution to this problem. Because the commercial, your most important meeting is actually FSDL and commercial partners and broadcaster. Those three meetings are actually more important than the clubs. Because who's going to put in the money, right? If the league starts tomorrow, the clubs will play in both leagues. But who's going to put in the money is your biggest question, which is not being asked. What is the latest update on Calcutta Super League? There is no Calcutta Super League. Bengal Super League, Wangawan, they've done logo announcements and stuff and coaches. So yeah, let's see. Go says we play badly, want to sort it out for the upcoming SAF Cup. We want to redeem our dignity. Let's see. Why Indian government system always kinds of ignores other sports, especially football? If is cricket lobby a real thing? I know many politicians in governments as investments cricket. Yes, Akash, of course, cricket lobby is there. They are very satisfied and so pleased to see the type of hunger from the 17 boys just expecting this things from senior team as well. Yeah, Nishant, the hunger is very good, but yeah, let's wait and see. Do you think the sports minister meeting will have be any fruited? No, I don't. If there is, then I would be surprised. Heard AIFF president had a meeting with East Bengal, Mohun Bagan, Mohun Sporting. He's had on and off meetings with them, but yeah, nothing fruitful. Borussia Dortmund and Bayer Leverkusen are so inconsistent. Bayern will win the league in January, I think. Yeah, they won't win it in Jan, but they most probably late Feb, early March, they will have finished off. Viviano tactics are good, but he's not a strict coach. Okay, who says he's not a strict coach? Goku. Are Odisha FC and Chennai FC dead? No, they're not dead. Um, they've Odisha FC's operations are on standby, right? Um, Chennai, they're still running, but they're also not on fully standby, but they are sort of wait and watch. And again, I can't fault the clubs in doing that. Having spent so much, Chennai has been there for more than 11 years. Odisha now more than 6 years. The owners have been in Delhi as well. So that franchise per se has been on for more than 11 years. You've spent so much money. So yeah. Bangladesh will win next SAF Cup for sure. I will be surprised if they fail to reach at least final. Akash, let's wait and see. Let's wait and see. Dada, Dada, we will love to see you 17 boys getting more maturity till you 20 table. Of course, Nishant, 100%. That's surely needed. By good, I mean to say Shan will get regular game time in some Sporting Club Delhi or Punjab, FC or Inter Kashi. Akash, he could get um, game time even at other clubs. I think the player has quality that he could, he's coming as a foreign striker from the CPL. Your English accents, thanks a lot. The self-interests and egos of the clubs here is going to be the biggest hurdle, in my opinion. I don't see any of the current ISL club owners, especially the big ones, sticking around with the FSBL out of the picture. So, I mean, that's one. My problem with the ISL clubs is very simple, that they are not speaking with one voice. Yeah. Mohun Bagan is doing their own thing. East Bengal seems to be doing their own thing. Some of the clubs, not sure what they're doing. Inter Kashi is not integrated into this group. So, it's a disjointed lot. The same problem in the I League as well, right? Churchill Brothers wants to get into the ISL. Even 2-3 of the corporate teams like Gokulam Kerala, like Shri Deccan are saying, hey guys, ISL, if you've got a team's problem, we would love to jump in. Is Delhi FC an I League club? Is Sporting Club Bangalore an I League club? It's all disjointed. Okay, enough of being in La La Land, guys. Time to come back to reality and get depressed. Oh, Zoraba, very nice. No, let's stay a little longer at La La Land, right? 1 or 2 more days. Again, Wednesday, I think we'll come back to reality. Dada, you 17 boys must have friendlies against countries rather than against club. What do you have to say about it? Because last time we had played friendlies with Real Madrid but hadn't been able to produce results. Nishant, playing again with Real Madrid, we were playing their C team at under 17 level and got a 3-3, and everyone jumped up and down. Very nice. Even but here in Germany against Stuttgart and against FC Augsburg, they you know, so they got thrashed. But for me, uh, so therefore for me, and we've had 2017 before the under 17 World Cup. We had a lot of exposure for that team here in Germany, and that was mainly club sides. So it doesn't matter. Again, in Europe, if you play clubs, good. If you can play national teams, yes, that is better. But any level of exposure for our boys is good. From your platform, I want to say to supporters that please stop commenting play for India and Origin players Instagram comments box. It looks very cringe. Akash, what to say? Yeah, it is. It is. See, Indian football fans are very passionate. Our Indian football fans sometimes are a little desperate to try and push the agenda. Let's put it this way, very nicely, which isn't easy, which is not easy, and yeah. But I get your point, and I think I would, uh, you know. So yeah, Sunil Chetri must try to help Shan Dada. Nishant, that is not Sunil's job. Sunil's job is not to help Shan or any one of the others. Ryan Williams was a teammate. Sunil convinced him, amongst others. But that's, yeah. What exceptional player Michael Uli say. Goku, I have to say, um, um, good player when he came to Bayern. I didn't expect him to do as good as he's done. Right? I mean, um, exceptional talent. And yeah. And not only him, I think the biggest transfer of this summer for Bayern was Luis Diaz, right? And you know, and that's the point. So therefore, for me, yeah, let's wait and see. Arunava, I don't think the ISL will take place before the 2026 AIFF elections. Arnav, could happen. Could happen if the elections are latest next year in September. Maybe it might happen after that. At least the lads got us some healthy chunk of football going into next year. I just hope they get at least some kind of preparations. Simon, that is the biggest worry. IWL set to start from December 20th, according to Marcus Magalas at Utkarsh. Let me just check. What did Marcus post? First phase in Kolani from December 20th to January 6th. Okay. So 20th of December to 6th of Jan, IWL in Kolani. Gante was very good, Dada, but Rajrup Sharkar was wall yesterday. Yeah, Nishant, Gante has been a key player on one side and Rajrup at the other end. Those two, amongst the 4-5 players to be named, were most probably the biggest exceptions. If Odisha FC or Chennai FC are closed, what will happen? Two clubs who've come and who've gone. Nothing more, nothing less. Akash, we've had clubs shutting down in the past. It has happened. Look at 2010 when JCT left the national level football scene and pulled back to Punjab. When in 2010 Mahindra United shut shop. It's not the first time, it's not the last time that clubs will shut shop or pull out. Right? The only concern is that with these teams, um, both these teams have had a certain effect in the region that they've, played in. Chennai has rejuvenated Chennai football over the last decade. Odisha, over the last 5 years, has had an impact in Odisha. And if they are gone, they're gone, right? There is no replacement club to take their position at national level. And that is, I think, the concern, that then these regions will not be there at the national level. What do you think about having friendly with Lebanon again? Theoretically, why not? I mean, Lebanon is kicking itself most probably, saying, listen, we beat India, and India is going to go there and say, oh, why didn't we win against the other three? Yeah. Especially, I think the draw against Chinese Taipei is now hurting them very, very much. Wirtz, what happened to him? I still believe it's a system problem more than him underperforming with Germany. He looks as good as he was in the Euros. Simon, He's gone to the wrong club. He's gone to the wrong league, right? He's left. He left what was an exceptional Bayer Leverkusen team, right? And he's left a league which is football quality wise most probably better than the Premier League. I know some people will say, what is this? What is he saying? Yeah, football wise, I think the Premier League is more about power, running, this, that, everything. The Bundesliga is more about football. If you watch it, so therefore, these are, again, you might not like it, and Liverpool is a mess because there are so many issues which have cropped up. I think the Diego Jota death. It looks like Mohamed Salah and Virgil van Dijk are coming to the end of their world-class cycle that these two players have had. Yeah. So therefore, for me, that is that. And Florian Wirtz, you have to create that niche position for him to be able to. He's one of the best young players in that kind of a position, right? So let's see. I hope he can grow at Liverpool, and because if I'm honest, I think if he had gone to Bayern or if he had gone to Spain, that would have suited him more. If sports ministry needs to arrange the leagues, then why don't they disband the AIFF? They're not organizing the league. Who says they're organizing the league? This is one of those wrong informations that people are spreading on purpose. And who wants to disband the AIFF? Anyone who talks about disbanding the AIFF doesn't understand how football operates and runs. Sorry to say that. Anyone suggesting that is to me a non-starter of understanding how football runs. Right? The ministry has been asked. The Supreme Court is the one who's gotten us into this mess. And the ministry hopefully will help us to get a little bit out of this mess, or the ministry makes it even worse. That is the danger that we're stuck in, right? Indian politicians getting ready to earn brownie points from Messi's India tour. Oh, terrible. If I see who's, not only them, look at some of the corporates who've partnered that tour. Partners who have put money into Indian football, or a lot who have not put money into Indian football. But that's what I've been saying for years. Who is Germany's X-factor of the World Cup? One who could carry the team out trickery situation by individual brilliance. Musiala surely, and maybe Florian Wirtz. And on the other side, maybe Leonard Kyle. I think the 17-year-old showed last week against Arsenal, season pro, that goal was world class. He might be that X factor. I think the league should happen in 26-27 season would be worked if the mess had been sorted. Goku, I agree with you. I think that maybe we'll have to sacrifice the 25-26 season. Adeyemi kicking it under Kovac. Roshan, again, a lot of discussions here about him. But last 3 games, yeah, he's performed. Do you think Bibiano needs foreign coach for Asia Cup? Roshan, I always say that a foreigner would be better. But if we get in a foreigner, then Bibiano moves out, right? So, yeah, difficult one. Maybe if we had played this type of football against, we might have been able to take that 1 point from them. Nishant, we were not good. We come to inconsistency. So therefore, I know you were talking about Lebanon. We were not good against Lebanon. We were not good against Palestine also. We were not even good against Chinese Taipei. So us going through on 7 points, a lot of karma points earned by these boys against Iran. Because, yeah, we got through. So again, let's not, we go in that match, we should have lost maybe 2 out of those 3. And maybe could have drawn in the worst case. So we might not have been in the situation we were in. So therefore, let's take it and let's forget it. People watch Premier League only because of the massive marketing that they do. Otherwise, Bundesliga way superior. But tell this to to the people who. Sorry, who tell you football in the world. And yeah, I agree on you on that. Bundesliga is more direct and boring, possession-based football, and that's what makes it enjoyable. Yeah, it can be. Again, Spain can be that playing around, and then but yeah, Rajiv Sharka, what a keeper, sir! If you would get correct coaching, he can be one of the best keeper in Asia. Lad has lots of potential. Utkarsh, agree, and it would be in the tradition of I say Shubro Pal, um, Shubhashish Roy Chaudhuri, Arindam Bhattacharya. So it's great to see a Bengali keeper. Iran was not good yesterday, but the goal from the Iranian ball was cool. Yeah, true. And Roshan, I thought after 19 minutes, Iran goes ahead, and you think, okay, this is not good. This is not good for us. This is tricky. Um, but we held ourselves. We sorted us out ourselves. That was good to see. So therefore, I'm very, very happy that we got through. Right, 1 hour, 21 minutes. Quick reminder, if you haven't, like, share, and subscribe Arun Foot here on YouTube. 19 likes so far, guys. I think we can do better than that. And if you're new to the channel, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, but you're liking the conversation, you're liking what we're talking about, do become a subscriber here. 3,500 is at the moment the number. So thanks a lot to 3,500 at this moment in time. We are growing. And as I said, today is the 1st of December. The aim is to try and reach the 4,000 mark before the end of the year. So please, please, please help me grow further. And thanks a lot, as always, guys, for your support. Might be the midfielder who was the captain against Portugal's assignment, not inevitable, but the other can. Hmm? Acha, oh, you mean Joshua Kimmich? You mean Kimmich? Kimmich is the person I think you mean. Yeah, Joshua Kimmich. Yeah, is a quality player, and yeah, that's it. Abhishek's 20 like. Thanks a lot, Abhishek. Again, like, share, and subscribe, guys. Thanks a lot. What happens to the match jerseys after a match? Bhaskar, um, depends on country and club. In some teams, um, the players are allowed to take them with them. In some teams, you have to hand them back. They are washed, and then you wear them again. So therefore, there is no fixed system. Let's say Indian under 17s, they've got two kits, which is the orange one and the blue one, which is fixed. They will have at least one backup jersey, maybe two, depending on. Um, so therefore, for me, that's the system. But I know that at bigger clubs, bigger entities, a match jersey is worn once, and then the player or the club keeps them. Again, a lot of them are signed, and then you do something with them. Who are the 2-3 shortlisted by AIFF? Dada. Nishant, none. What Khalid Jamil meant, and please, therefore, I did a video yesterday on Khalid, how he most probably sees this whole player thingy. That Khalid, what his understanding, according to me, what he meant was that I would like to add 2, 3 more of players of origin. Hasn't happened so far. But what he I think meant was, again, from knowing Khalid a little, that he most probably meant that I'm looking at a few players, and again, he can't look at OCIs because he needs players with passports. So OCIs are not happening anytime soon. Can't believe the win, man. And had to live the moment again and again and still overwhelmed, perhaps becoming too pessimistic makes me celeb. This win a bit too much. Simon, let's take it. Let's enjoy it. Right? I couldn't believe it at first. I was thinking, and the last 15, 20 minutes was very tough. And then because I was on the road, I came back. I was watching a football match live, and I was actually watching FIFA live on my phone. Then I was driving. I was listening to it. I'm thinking, okay, please don't concede a goal. This is like you're pleading to the device. It's pretty weird. Then I came home, quickly got ready, and then started the late live watch along, and then we celebrated this. Yeah, and let's enjoy. These we have very few of these moments, Simon. Let's enjoy simply and be happy. Sir, you reached 5K done. Yes. X9P, yes. Thanks again. 3,500. Small milestone for me, but but important for the channel to grow, more people to join in our conversations, and thank you for that. But then again, kalma kalma, there's a lot to be done. Yes, Simon, that's what Zorava said, na? Let's get back from Lola Land into reality, because Indian football is the way it is. Yes, Kimmich, Dada, Havertz will be there, Dada, or he will not, Dada. Nishant, Havertz has been out for a while. I hope he comes back because it gives you options. But again, I think Germany's most important thing is that you have options now. Germany has evolved. Nick Woldemade, who would have thought a year ago Nick Woldemade, he wasn't, I mean, think about it. Last season, first half of the season, Stuttgart did not register Nick Woldemade for their Champions League squad, you know, and so therefore, wow, 24 likes. Thanks a lot. With 26 likes already. Thanks a lot. So thanks a lot, guys. Again, like, share, and subscribe. And when you're watching the short videos, if you can type, please do that. That would be of great help. If we want to replace Indian coaches, foreign coaches in the national team, shouldn't we first focus on upgrading our clubs and academy system with foreign expertise, especially at the youth level? Goku, yes, but who's going to pay for it? Is who going to get the right coaches in, right? We need a change in kits. Same since 2024. Performance needs to step up in quality. Yeah. India blue jersey looks classy, looks good. Maybe in some month I will buy India jersey. Okay. X9P. How much credit to give AIFF for this U17 Asian Cup qualifiers? Roshan, you have to give him some credit, right? Choosing Ahmedabad as a host, right? Or that's a positive in my opinion. Mm, to me, the problem is that Viviana's appointment was good, but the things around it are an issue, right? And therefore, we'll have to see. Indian team is like Karabas have seen ISL. You never know when they will concede a goal. Even the leading by 5-0, they will concede about 6% lost match. Okay, Goku. Question, wasn't it making to the semifinals necessary to qualify for under 7 World Cups in past, or has the rules been changed? Remember, India lost to South Korean quarters and were unable to make it to World Cup. Zoravar, the tournament has changed, no? From a 24 to a 48 nation tournament and a yearly tournament. So therefore, Asia has 9 spots. So therefore, quarterfinal is enough. Do you think there are more better players that can replace some players from this U17 batch? Because what I've seen from 2023 batch, there are no near them. So tell us your view. Bhaskar, yes, I hope there are better players, because this squad wasn't good. Let's be honest about that. But the question now is, how far can this squad take us? And that's why I said earlier on in this video, in my short analysis video, I said that as well. Bibiano now has to go out and maybe scout and find, especially a striker. He needs a striker. Right? That is going to be your, Seram and Rehan Ahmed have not shown me what I want from a striker to be able to help us. We did, after all, have slightly better preparations at camp. We did overall, after all, have slightly better preparation at camp, and that China friendly than the rest. So if you get some products. Simon, we've always had these preparatory camps over the last 25 years. We've been having them. I was the first one to do it for an under 17 camp because I organized them a 2-week training stint here in Germany. So therefore, that's normal. The China friendlies was nice to have. But again, yesterday was about mentality, not about quality. That our defense was too good in last 20 minutes because we had forced Iran to put crosses from wings. But to be honest, they had scored almost all of their goals from front only. But we hadn't given them a chance to penetrate box. Yeah, but that is true. And I thought Iran wasn't playing football. Right? In that second half, they lost the plot, which was good for us. But I felt they lost the plot. And that's good. Only if this was there from to itself, the Vikram Pratap batch would have played an under 17 World Cup. Zoravar, World Cup was smaller, different times, forget it. Tomorrow, Bangladesh women are playing against Azerbaijan, by the way. And we played today. Who did we play? We play Banat FC on the UAE tour with Avika, Anju, and Manisha scoring. So very interesting. Avika Singh, Anju Tamang, and Manisha Kalyan scoring. Looks like Avika could be one of our wild cards going into the Asian Cup. Ryan Ahmed even does not get much match time. That's true. The most realistic way for India to qualify for the World Cup is if this current team performs well in the Asian Cup. Fingers crossed they don't mess it up. Yeah, don't mess it up. And also, we get a group which is doable, right? So are these players fixed for the Asian League or there will be trials? Bhaskar, there won't be trials, but there will be, I think the one other player will be injured. Injuries will play a part. And then Bibiano will have to look at players and then let's see. Do you think if FSD and have sort out with ministry, I think a lot percentage of the problems will be sorted out, right? No. Then you don't think it's so easy to sort out. It's not a sorting out thing, right? There's a lot of money and other things involved. Was doing lots of mistakes after that second goal. Nishant, the second goal itself was, mistake. Even that penalty in the first half. You've got 3-4 chances, opportunities to clear the ball, and you mess it up completely. When Iran were consistently trying those long ranges, each shot got my BP high. Yeah, so very true. As there any player who performed consistently for the long time in football? Yeah, you've had Sunil, you've had Baichung, Renedy, all that generation. There are quite a few players. Mahesh Goli, Deepak Mondal, all of them. Is there any update on? No, nothing. Bonprat, it will not be happening now. If he doesn't live in India, play in India, there's no citizenship for Shan. But this winger speed attack impressed me. Yeah. So we're cooked. No, we're not. Bhaskar, we're not. It depends on a lot of factors, right? So if we say we're cooked, no, we're not. Right. I'll slowly come to an end of this live on this Monday evening, 1st of December, the day after India qualified for the AFC Under 17 Asian Cup. A great achievement for us. And once more, the request, like, share, and subscribe. And 27 likes. Thanks a lot. And of course, 3,500 is where we stand at this moment. Please, if you haven't, subscribe to the channel. Let's keep on growing and watch the short videos. I did something on the under 17s qualifying yesterday, something on Khalid Jamil. Before that, on should OCIs come and play in Indian leagues, the ISL clock ticking, other things. Tomorrow, there's a video on the government involvement, on the conversations happening. And that's it. So we need scouting to find striker drought continue. We have good defenders, good goalkeeper, good midfielder. Yeah, we need to do that. But we have fast Wester, they tried to do transitional defense to midfield and from midfield to forward, failed. Yeah, but they can do better. Yeah, that's the thing. Good night, Simon. Thanks for your precious time. You're welcome. In your opinion, what's the problem with the Bengal Cape mentality? We can't get beyond that world. Oh, that's a whole story for itself, guys. I'll slowly come to an end. I'll try and answer tomorrow evening. I'll be back and then answer some of your other questions. Good night, Zoravar, and let's enjoy this moment. And yeah, all the best. I'll catch you tomorrow. Good night, everyone.